The most important part of a movie is how it starts. Odds are, if you look at your favorite movies, they have an awesome opening. Star Wars, The Dark Knight, Fellowship of the Ring, Inception. You gotta hook the audience and set the tone. And you could make the argument that the same is true in wrestling. Yes, many people will likely point to the main event as the most important match on a wrestling show because it is all about how you leave them, but how a show starts can have just as much of an impact on the night's proceedings as how it ends. Nothing quite takes the air out of a building quite like a dud of an opener, and there is nowhere that applies to more than WrestleMania. We've already done our lists of the best and worst main events, but now we shall close out our pairing of best and worst opening matches with this list. I draw the short straws around here, it seems, but I'm Tempest, hailing from partsFUNknown, and these are the 10 worst WrestleMania opening matches ever. But before we get on with our list, make sure of course that you like this video, subscribe, and enable notifications to always on so you never miss a fun list just like it. And make sure you check out Adam's list of the 10 best WrestleMania opening matches. I bet it's a little bit cheerier than this one's gonna be. Number 10, The Usos vs. Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, WrestleMania 38 Night 1. Oh man, this one isn't their fault. A lot of the matches on this list will feature incompetence in some form or another, whether that be the incompetence of the workers involved or the idiot who put them together. In this match, however, it merely comes down to the incompetence of Rick Boogs' quads. Boogs and Nakamura were a fun one-note act, even if the one note was Boogs playing several notes of Nakamura's entrance, and this was shaping up to be a perfectly adequate tag team match until Rick Boogs tried to muscle up both Usos at once, only for his quad to completely give out under the sheer weight of two Usos. I really feel for the guy. Imagine you're as excited as possible for your first ever WrestleMania, and your night ends in a hospital bed knowing you're gonna be out for a long, long time. Just heartbreaking. Thankfully, he's back now, but this was the end of the night for the artist formerly known as Eric Bugenhagen, as Nakamura and the Usos struggled to the finish, fumbling their way through an unfortunately unsavable match. Number 9, Kane and the Big Show vs. Carlito and Chris Masters, WrestleMania 22. Let me just tell ya, tag team matches do not come out of this list looking good. When your babyface team is a pair of monster giants, your psychology is probably going to be a bit backwards. Sure enough, this is one of them backwards matches, where the heels get cheered because they're the underdogs, and the babyfaces get booed because they're the obstacle to overcome. Kane has his working boots here, hitting a drop kick and a flying clothesline to the outside, but Big Show is indeed the Big Show, bringing the pace to a crawl whenever he can, and Carlito and Chris Masters don't do much to warm up the crowd because that's not their role in the f***ing match. This match is just a prime example of WWE's apathy towards real tag teams during the Ruthless Aggression era, to the point that it makes me want to go on TV next to Mike Myers and say WWE doesn't care about tag teams. WrestleMania 22 is a pretty solid Mania, what with a Money in the Bank ladder match, Edge and Foley, HBK scalping Vince, a good albeit short world title triple threat, but the opener was not one of the highlights. Number 8, Big Boss Man and Bull Buchanan vs. D'Lo Brown and The Godfather, WrestleMania 2000. The most interesting thing about this match is looking at D'Lo Brown and Bull Buchanan dressed up as their partners. As is the case with many Mania openers, the crowd wants to give this a chance because they're at WrestleMania and they want to be excited and have fun, but by the end there just isn't anything to be excited about. Buchanan gives D'Lo a bear hug at one point that is really just a big cuddle. It looks quite sweet actually. The team being managed for the night by Ice-T doesn't even win! How does the celebrity guest manager not even manage his team to a win? I don't have any real thoughts on Bull Buchanan, honestly. He's just a dude. WrestleMania 2000 is a bad Mania with a semi-dated three-way ladder match to keep it afloat nowadays, and boy, does this opener sure not help matters. Christ, Jerry Lawler on commentary is having a field day with the women of the night who have agency at ringside. Just an all-time bad commentary performance during an all-time bad Mania opener. Number 7, Show Miz vs. Truth and Wisdom, WrestleMania 26. WrestleMania 26 is a solid WrestleMania regardless of what Luke says, but it sure does not start hot. You know what will really get the crowd amped for your biggest show of the year? A 3-minute match where dick all happens and the heels win. Imagine waiting all year to wrestle at WrestleMania and being told you have 3 minutes. The f***ing entrances were longer. This is about the lowest point for WWE Tag Team Wrestling. You have the straight-to-DVD sequel of Jericho and Show Miz taking on the anti-chemistry vacuum of R-Truth and John Morrison, and you will not find a worse display of tag team cohesion than John Morrison kicking Big Show, causing him to nearly fall onto R-Truth's head. The match never gets out of first gear. Big Show just bops Morrison in the head and wins before anyone could even finish their overpriced hot dogs. I cannot believe this is the only WrestleMania encounter between The Miz and John Morrison despite all of the history they have shared. WrestleMania, baby, woo! Number 6, Lex Luger and British Bulldog versus the Blue Brothers, WrestleMania 11. Lord above, WrestleMania 11 is a bad show. At the very least, the crowd seems alive for this opening match, which is more than I can say about most matches on this list, but maybe the people of Hartford, Connecticut were just still in shock that WWE actually decided to hold WrestleMania in Hartford, Connecticut. This match starts with the Allied Powers immediately power slamming the Blue Brothers on top of each other in a Nazi tattooed heap, and I can't exactly say that it got better from there. The Blue Brothers look f***ing untrained at points here. Can't bump, can't do things safely, it's just a mess. It is incredible to see how far Lex Luger's stock had fallen in WWE by this point. SummerSlam 93 seems primed to beat Yokozuna and win the WWE title. Wins the 94 Rumble, is in a WWE title match at WrestleMania 10, then 1 year later he's in the opening tag match against whatever the Blue Brothers even were. Bad. Bad is what they were. Number 5, the New Blackjacks versus the Godwins versus the Headbangers versus Phil LaFawn and Doug Furnas, WrestleMania 13. What the f*** is this set of rules? You know how these days when WWE does a 4-way tag, the people in the match can tag out to other teams to keep the action one-on-one? I know some people don't like that style, but I can understand why they do it. Keeps things far less chaotic, more straightforward, easy to follow, less bodies lying around, I get it. What I do not get, however, is in this match where one headbanger starts the match and then his opponent tags in the other headbanger, and commentary proceeds to say that the headbangers must fight each other or forfeit the match. What? What possible set of rules would it make any logical sense for one partner to have to fight the other? What advantage could they possibly gain from fighting one another? This is a elimination match. Were the headbangers supposed to eliminate themselves? Surely that would just cause this simulation that we're living in to crash. I have nothing else to say about this match. I'm glad Doug Furnas got a WrestleMania payday. Number 4, Hardcore Holly versus Al Snow versus Billy Gunn, WrestleMania 15. I think this match was designed specifically to piss me off. It would be difficult for me to find any 3 wrestlers that I could dislike more than these 3. But I may just be extra mad at Billy Gunn for spawning his booty boy sons. Hardcore matches often get a bad rap for being aimless nonsense with no story, no psychology, and no structure, and while it is not fair to paint the entire genre with that brush, this match sure does fit the bill. Al Snow grabs a hockey stick, prompting the crowd to chant "Let's go Flyers," which subtracts a star from this match because f*** the Flyers. They grab a broom, prompting Lawler to ask if they have curling in this building too, which adds a star back to the match because curling is as Canadian as a beaver tail. And you know how everyone gets new gear for WrestleMania these days? Did Hardcore Holly not get the memo that he was going to win a match at WrestleMania, stealing Madcap Moss's old gear for the biggest show of the year and winning the Hardcore title in a dog shit match wearing the most uninteresting gear possible? Number 3, the WrestleMania 14 Tag Team Battle Royal. There is absolutely no reaction to 95% of what happens here because somehow this match manages to simultaneously have nothing happening and everything happening at once. This match is just white noise manifested into physical form. The camera misses half the eliminations because there are just bodies getting chucked out with no rhyme or reason, and this match has the stupid rule of if one member of the team is eliminated, the whole team is eliminated, so you will just see people leaving the ring voluntarily even if we did not see their partner get eliminated. I didn't know that the Rock and Roll Express were in this match until Ricky Morton got eliminated. Some of the people in this match don't even know the rules of the match, like Mark Henry, remaining in the match long after his partner got eliminated. And the teams in this match, holy shit, the teams in this match. You get classic duos like the Harris brothers and their SS tattoos, the Godwins and their Confederate printed shirts, Bradshaw and Chains, Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor, and whoever the f*** Recon and Sniper are. This is as bad as Battle Royals can get, folks. Number 2, Sheamus vs. Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 28. Ha ha ha, thought WWE, we'll get one over on the loudest, angriest, and most passionate section of our fan base on the biggest stage possible. Ha ha ha, assholes. Considering how great their 2 out of 3 Falls match was at Extreme Rules the following month after this debacle, you could theorize that Sheamus and Daniel Bryan's World Heavyweight Championship match could have been the best match at WrestleMania 28. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I would prioritize having another potential match of the night on my biggest show of the year over pranking my fan base to the detriment of my show, my top heel of SmackDown, and my top babyface of SmackDown, but hey, I'm not a batshit insane old man that hates his fans. The 18-second match that Sheamus and Daniel Bryan had at WrestleMania 28 may have been the best thing to ever happen to Bryan, considering it ignited a groundswell of fan support that really never stopped all the way up to WrestleMania 30, but it also crippled any chance Sheamus had of getting over with the hardcore fan base as world champion. Whoops, idiots. And number 1, The Fiend vs. Randy Orton, WrestleMania 37 Night 2. It takes a special kind of bad to top the insulting corporate douchebaggery that was the opening of WrestleMania 28. But while that was indeed bad on an all-time level, sparking a backlash like few other matches, it really isn't a match. This, however, is a garbage match to open Night 2 of WrestleMania 37. Randy Orton has had some bad luck with WrestleMania matches, particularly with Bray Wyatt, and it seemed highly unlikely that they would be able to sink lower than their WWE title Maggots on the Ring match from WrestleMania 33, but boy howdy did WWE ever pull that one off. What the was this? This is how you choose to open a show? The return and death of The Fiend. He steps through the magic portal that heals all his burn wounds, pops out of a giant Fiend in the box, has a match with a Randy Orton who thoroughly does not give a about any of this bullshit, and then loses via distraction because of a melting Alexa Bliss, never to be seen again. WrestleMania 37 Night 2 did a lot to make up for this start. Riddle and Sheamus, Owens and Zayn, Ripley and Asuka, a great three-way main event, but never before or since has WrestleMania opened with a bigger And that's our list. Make sure, of course, that you like this video, subscribe, and enable notifications to see more fun wrestling lists just like it. And make sure you click Adam's list above at the 10 best WrestleMania opening matches. I'm gonna go have a nap.
The opening match wasn't exactly a vaunted spot on the card back then. However, especially in the last decade or so, WWE have started putting stonking matchups on our screen straight out the gate, and it's time to give the curtain jerkers their due.